stop. Don't start your Subaru. Don't drive anywhere. Not until you watch this entire video. I'm serious. What I'm about to tell you could save your engine, save your transmission, and save you thousands of dollars in catastrophic repairs. There's something happening to your Subaru right now. Something you can't see, something you can't hear. Something that's silently destroying critical components every single time you start the car and drive. And 95% of Subaru owners have no idea this is happening. This isn't about oil changes. This isn't about routine maintenance. This is about a specific sequence of events that happens every time you get in your Subaru. And if you don't change this sequence immediately, you're cutting your engine's lifespan in half. I'm talking about damage that accumulates invisibly over weeks, months, and years. Damage that doesn't show symptoms until it's too late. Damage that turns a 250,000-mile engine into a 100,000-mile engine failure. The worst part? You think you're doing everything right. You follow the maintenance schedule, you use good oil, you take care of your car. But you're still making this critical mistake every single day. Today, I'm revealing exactly what this mistake is, why it's destroying your Subaru, how much damage you've already done, and how to fix it starting with your very next drive. This applies to every Subaru, Forester, Outback, WRX, Crosstrek, Impreza, Legacy, Ascent, all of them. If you own a Subaru, you need to see this. Don't scroll away. Don't skip ahead. Watch this entire video before you drive your Subaru again. Let's get into it. The mistake you're making right now. Here it is. The mistake you're making every single time you drive your Subaru. You're starting your car and immediately driving away without proper warm-up. And then you're putting the engine under load before it reaches operating temperature. I can hear you thinking, that's it? Everyone does that. That can't be a big deal. It's the biggest deal. And it's destroying your engine. Let me show you exactly why. What happens when you start cold and drive immediately? Here's what happens inside your Subaru engine when you start it cold and drive away immediately. The oil situation. First 30 seconds. Your oil has been sitting in the oil pan all night. It's cold. It's thick. At 32 degrees Fahrenheit, engine oil can be up to 10 times thicker than at operating temperature. When you turn the key, the oil pump starts moving this thick oil through the engine, but it takes time to reach critical components. Here's the problem with Subaru's boxer engine specifically. The cylinders are horizontal. When the engine is off, oil drains away from the cylinder walls faster than in a vertical engine. During those first 30 seconds, the piston rings are scraping against cylinder walls with minimal lubrication. This is metal-on-metal contact. This is wear. Every cold start without proper warm-up adds measurable wear to your cylinders. The fuel washing problem, first 5 minutes. When your engine is cold, it runs rich. The ECU dumps extra fuel to help with cold starts and maintain idle. At cold temperatures, fuel doesn't atomize properly. Instead of burning completely, some of it condenses on cold cylinder walls as liquid. This liquid fuel washes away the already thin oil film on the cylinder walls. Now you have piston rings scraping against bare metal with no oil protection at all. This accelerates ring wear dramatically. Over time, this causes oil consumption as rings lose their seal, compression loss, eventually engine failure, the bearing stress. First 10 minutes. Your rod bearings, main bearings, and camshaft bearings all rely on a pressurized oil film for protection. With cold, thick oil, that oil film doesn't form properly. The clearances in modern Subaru engines are tight and designed for proper viscosity oil. Put the engine under load before it's warm, and you're forcing these bearings to handle combustion pressure without adequate oil film protection. This creates accelerated bearing wear that's invisible until the bearings fail at 150,000 miles instead of 300,000 miles. The carbon buildup every cold drive. Modern Subarus with direct injection are especially vulnerable. During cold running, incomplete combustion creates carbon deposits on intake valves, piston tops, and combustion chambers. If the engine reaches full operating temperature and stays there, much of this carbon burns off. But if you only make short trips where the engine never fully warms up, the carbon accumulates. Over 50,000 to 100,000 miles of short trips and cold running, you develop severe carbon buildup that requires professional cleaning at $600 to $1,200. The turbo destruction, turbocharged models. If you have a WRX STI or any turbocharged Subaru, cold running is even worse. Turbochargers rely on oil for cooling and lubrication. The oil passages in a turbo are tiny. Cold, thick oil doesn't flow through these passages quickly enough. If you put boost load on a cold turbo, you're starving it of adequate lubrication. This causes oil coking in the turbo bearings, accelerated bearing, wear premature turbo failure at 100,000 to 150,000 miles instead of 200,000 plus miles, turbo replacement, $2,500 to $3,500. The CVT stress, CVT models, CVT transmissions are even more sensitive to cold operation than manual or traditional automatics. CVT fluid must be at operating temperature to provide proper friction and pressure characteristics. Cold CVT fluid is too thick. It doesn't flow properly through the transmission's hydraulic system. Put load on a cold CVT and you're creating excessive belt slip, accelerated wear on the pulleys, premature CVT failure. CVT replacement, $4,000 to $7,000. And we already know 2010 to 2018 Subaru CVTs are problematic. Cold running makes it exponentially worse. Before we continue with exactly how to fix this, I need to tell you something important. This cold start mistake is just one of many invisible engine killers that Subaru owners don't know about. I've documented all of them and the exact procedures to prevent them in the 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint. It's the complete guide to avoiding the mistakes that destroy Subarus. Link in the description. Get it now before you make another cold start. But I only idle for 30 seconds. Problem. Many of you are thinking, but I do let it idle for 30 seconds before I drive. That's better than nothing, but it's not enough. Here's why. 30 seconds of idle gets oil circulating. That's good, but the engine is still cold. The metal hasn't expanded to proper clearances. The oil is still thick. The combustion chambers are still cold. You're slightly better off than someone who drives immediately, but you're still causing accelerated wear. The real solution requires more than idle time. The modern engines are designed for this. Myth. The second objection I hear, modern engines are designed to be driven immediately. The manual says you don't need to warm up. Let me address this directly. Yes, modern engines can be driven immediately without catastrophic instant failure. Yes, the owner's manual says you can drive right away, but there's a difference between can do and should do. The manual says you can drive immediately because lawyers don't want liability for carbon monoxide poisoning from long idles in garages. Environmental regulations discourage extended idling. Subaru needs to protect themselves legally. But engineers know that proper warm-up extends engine life dramatically. Ask any Subaru engineer off the record and they'll tell you, gentle warm-up before putting the engine under load significantly extends engine lifespan. The manual tells you the minimum, not the optimal. The right way to start and warm up your Subaru. Here's exactly what you should do every single time you start your Subaru. Step 1. Start and idle, 60 seconds. Start the engine. Don't touch the gas pedal. Let it idle for 60 full seconds, not 20 seconds, not 30 seconds, 60 seconds. This allows oil to circulate to all components. Oil pressure to stabilize initial warm-up to begin. Step 2. Drive gently. First 5 to 10 minutes. Put the car in gear and begin driving, but drive gently. Keep RPMs below 2,500. No hard acceleration, no highway speeds. Gradual, gentle inputs only. Think of this as a break-in period for every single drive. Step 3. Monitor temperature gauge. Watch your temperature gauge. On most Subarus, it should reach the middle, normal operating range within 10 to 15 minutes depending on outside temperature. Winter, 12 to 15 minutes. Summer, 8 to 10 minutes. Moderate temps, 10 to 12 minutes. Do not put the engine under significant load until the gauge reaches the middle. Step 4. Full operating temperature. Reached once the temperature gauge hits the middle and stays there. Your engine is at full operating temperature, 195 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Now you can drive normally. Full acceleration available. Highway speeds fine. Normal driving loads acceptable. This is when the engine is designed to work hard. Step 5. Drive at least 15 minutes total. Every drive should be at least 15 minutes long if possible. This ensures engine reaches full temp. Moisture evaporates from oil, carbon burns off. All fluids reach operating temperature. If you must make shorter trips, accept that you're causing more wear and compensate with more frequent oil changes. Special situations and exceptions. Winter cold starts. In winter, below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the warm-up process takes longer. Extend the gentle driving period to 15 minutes instead of 10. Consider using a block heater if temperatures regularly drop below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This pre-warms the engine and dramatically reduces cold start wear. Turbocharged models. Turbos need extra care. Warm-up procedure is the same, but add this at the end. After hard driving, boost, high RPM, aggressive acceleration. Let the engine idle for 30 to 60 seconds before shutting down. This allows the turbo to cool while oil continues circulating, preventing oil coking in the hot turbo bearings. CVT models. CVT fluid needs temperature too. The warm-up procedure for the engine also warms the CVT fluid. Avoid sudden acceleration or aggressive driving until the entire drivetrain is warm. Remote start. If you have remote start, use it correctly. Start the car 5 to 10 minutes before you leave. Let it idle and warm up. When you get in, it's already partway through the warm-up process. Then drive gently for the first 5 minutes until fully warm. Short commutes. If your commute is only 5 to 10 minutes, you have a problem. The engine never reaches full operating temperature. This is the worst-case scenario for engine longevity. Solutions. Combine trips when possible. Take the long way home once a week. Change oil twice as frequently. Use synthetic oil for better cold protection. Consider using a block heater. Accept that short trip driving causes accelerated wear and compensate with maintenance. How much damage have you already done? If you've been starting cold and driving hard immediately, how much damage have you done? It depends on how many miles you've driven this way, how cold your climate is, how short your typical trips are, how aggressively you drive when cold. Low damage, recoverable. If you've been doing this for 30,000 to 50,000 miles, measurable but not catastrophic wear, probably some carbon buildup. No symptoms yet. Change your habits now, and you'll be fine. Moderate damage. If you've been doing this for 50,000 to 100,000 miles, significant carbon buildup, likely increased ring wear, possible minor oil consumption, starting change habits, and do preventive cleaning. Severe damage. If you've been doing this for 100,000 plus miles, severe carbon buildup, ring wear causing oil consumption, accelerated bearing wear. Symptoms are probably appearing. You need to change your habits immediately. Get a carbon cleaning service. Monitor oil consumption closely. Prepare for earlier than expected major service. The real-world impact. Case studies. Let me give you 3 real examples. Case 1. The short trip commuter. 2015 Forester, 5-minute commute each way. Always started cold and drove immediately. At 85,000 miles, consuming 1 quart of oil every 2,000 miles. Severe carbon buildup on intake valves. Required short block replacement. $4,500. If proper warm-up had been followed, engine would still be healthy. Case 2. The patient driver. 2012. Outback. Owner always let it idle 60 seconds and drove gently for 10 minutes. At 235,000 miles, 0 oil consumption. Original engine, no major repairs. Compression test showed minimal wear. Proper warm-up added 100,000 plus miles of engine life. Case 3. The WRX Turbo Killer. 2016 WRX. Owner drove hard immediately after cold starts, short commute, at 62,000 miles. Turbo failed from oil coking ringland failure on cylinder 4. Engine rebuild required, $8,500. If proper warm-up and cool-down had been followed, engine and turbo would still be running strong. The cost of your current habits versus proper warm-up. Let's calculate the real cost. Improper warm-up, current habits. Short block replacement at 100,000 miles, $4,500. Turbo replacement at 120,000 miles, turbo models, $2,800. Carbon cleaning at 80,000 miles, $800. CVT replacement at 110,000 miles, CVT models, $5,500. Total potential costs, $6,100 to $13,600. Proper warm-up, time cost, 5 to 10 extra minutes per drive. Fuel cost, maybe $100 to $150 extra per year in warm-up idling planning, leaving 10 minutes earlier for work. Total annual cost, $150 in fuel, 10 minutes per day. Over 10 years, $1,500 in fuel plus time. The savings, $4,600 to $12,100. Spending an extra 10 minutes per drive and $150 per year saves you $5,000 to $12,000 in repair. That's a 300 to 800% return on your time investment. The bottom line, stop driving your Subaru the way you've been driving it. The mistake you're making, starting cold and immediately driving hard before the engine reaches operating temperature. Why it's destroying your engine. Metal on metal contact during cold starts fuel washing oil off cylinder wall, bearing stress from thick oil under load carbon, buildup from incomplete combustion, turbo starvation on forced induction models, CVT stress from cold fluid. The fix, idle for 60 seconds after starting. Drive gently for 5 to 10 minutes. Keep RPMs below 2,500 until fully warm. Wait for temperature gauge to reach middle drive at least 15 minutes per trip when possible. The cost of ignoring that, $5,000 to $13,000 in premature engine, turbo, and transmission failures. The cost of doing it right, 10 extra minutes per drive and $150 per year in fuel. Starting with your very next drive, implement this warm-up procedure. Your engine will last 200,000 plus miles instead of failing at 100,000 miles. Don't drive your Subaru until you commit to doing this right. And if you want the complete guide to every critical procedure that keeps your Subaru running forever, not just proper warm-up, but all the maintenance items that prevent expensive failures, check out the 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint in the description. It's everything you need to know to get maximum life from your Subaru. If you found this video helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.